That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time to get down and party. We're in New Orleans for the Saints with an all-star lineup tonight. Get excited. It's time for TSS Fantasy.
Yeah! It worked for The Rock, and it's going to work for me.
And you just got flandering.
That's what it is! This court is adjourned.
It is Commissioner Cooper.
Welcome to Sophistication Station.
I'm here to save the fantasy roster.
And it's time for TSS Fantasy. All right, it's an exciting night tonight. We got the New Orleans Saints. Let's get the party started. Start with the introductions. Look at Justin. He got the party started. He keep his eyes open. Welcome into the studio, Judge the Jordan. What's up, Judge
the Jordan? What is up, everybody? Hey, we got Judge the Jordan. We got Justin Herrera, and it looks like we have a new fantasy jester on staff, just judging by the backgrounds here.
Absolutely. Gotta love it. Thank you, the Jordan. Let's also get it started with Justin Jesus Herrera. Welcome to the studio, friend.
Jordan the Judge, Jesus the Justin. We're in the big easy, and it ain't going to be easy this year for them Saints when they come marching in. But hopefully they can pick up the W and pick up the win or pick up the playoff appearance this year.
Justin got some haterade for every NFC South team thus far. I have to say, I think he's just getting the guests fired up, juiced up in the background. I love it. All right, well, don't forget, go to tssfantasy.com. We got all of our latest and greatest rankings up. Obviously, they'll be differing as we go through our summer tour, so make sure you go check those out. Also, go to our sponsors. Visit Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code TSS. We'll double your deposit up to $100. Also, don't forget to go to Jazz Sportsbooks. We also got lots of great promos there as well. They differ monthly. So use the promo code TSS. So check those out. Also, if you're looking for some great bling for your fantasy championship, go to Pro Am Belts. They got lots of great bling for your title winner. All right, well, I'm going to bid the boys adieu for now. We're going to bring in the doc. We'll see them back on the third segment. Let's bring in the doc for the house call. The doctor is in. It's not Fat Tuesday. It's Fat Thursday for the New Orleans Saints. Welcome in for the house call, my friend.
Hey, thank you much. Let's start with Alvin Kamara. So he's averaging just under 15 games per season. Last year, however, was the first time in his 6-year career that he fell out of the top 10 in PPR. So not a good sign. More important, though, than his medical percent of the bench is going to be his legal percent of the bench. So look out later for Mary Jane Esquire's segment on him regarding his July 31st trial date. Medically, again, just under 15 games per season. He's been solid. So the medical end, we go 20% of the bench. Moving on to Michael Thomas. So in the last 3 seasons, he's played in 10 games. Not great for a guy who didn't miss a regular season game over the previous 3 seasons, and in 2019 was the top receiver. So in 2020, 2021, it was for his medial and high ankle. In 2022, he was shut down after 3 games because of his dislocated second toe that required surgery to repair. You have him listed at wide receiver 45 in your rankings, which may be the highest of anyone's. I'm going to give him a nod of confidence. We're going to say 30% of the bench, and he's going to be a late-round steal in any draft with the TSS fantasy guys.
I believe.
And lastly, Chris Olive. So in his 1 season, he played in 15 games. He's been slowed recently by what's being reported as Achilles inflammation, but hopefully that's nothing of long-term significance. His stock probably rose with the arrival of Derek Carr. We're going 45% of the bench.
Nice. And it's just so you know, it's Chris Olave, but we're not here for an English lesson. As you said, we're here for medical advice. So I appreciate you, my friend. All right, we're going to see you tomorrow. We're going to be in hot Atlanta. Appreciate you, Doc. All righty. Well, thank you, Doc. We do appreciate you as always. Let's bring in our all-star lineup tonight to talk about the New Orleans Saints.
Our next stop on our summer tour, we get ready to
Hey!
party in Louisiana. Move your body to the beat of the New Orleans Saints.
What is going on? I'm excited tonight. Let's start our introductions tonight. We'll start off with the boys that are back from last season. We'll start off with Mover Smitty. Welcome into the studio, friend.
What's up? How y'all doing?
We're doing great. Appreciate you being here. We're getting close to football time, so we're excited. Also, welcome in Mover Scott. Welcome in, my friend.
Thank you for having us again. I'm making it a tradition to wear my Movers hat, although I put blue collar brainstormer and fans Saint. So that's a bad omen. It should be Saints fan. It's a bad omen.
All good. All good, my friend. No worries. Like I said earlier, we're not here for an English lesson. We're good. Let's also welcome in Derek Brown. Welcome into the studio, friend.
What's going on, everyone? I'm excited to sit here. Y'all can't see all my Saints fandom stuff. I got like a Nola potato head. I got some Drew Brees bobbleheads back here. So, look, Who Dat is always live and well in this office. So glad to be here and talk about some Who Dat Nation, baby.
Love it. Let's go to my sister from another Mr. Nat. Welcome into the studio.
What's going on? I know you can see mine, Who Dat Nation.
Yes.
So I'm ready to talk about it. What's up, Coop?
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you guys being in tonight. Let's talk about last season, right? All right, so we're not going to get too depressing. Let's go over it real quick. Saints are 7-10 last year, third in the NFC at South with a little bit. They were tied with the Falcons, but I believe tiebreakers put them above them. Offensively, let's talk about the stats. Points per game, 22nd in the league, 19.4. Yards per game, 330.8 per game. Not too bad. 18th in the league. Not horrible. Passing yards per game, 217.2, which puts you 16th. Rush yards per game, 116.6. That put you 19th. Defensively, points per game, 20.3. That puts you at 9th in the league. Not too shabby. Not indicative of a 7-10 team neither. Yards against, 314.8. Puts you at 5th. Again, great. This is the great stat right here. Passing yards per game. They got you. I didn't even write it down because apparently sorry, a little error there. But if you were first in the league at pass yards per game, rush yards per game, 184.4, it got you at second. So defensively, the New Orleans Saints were money when it mattered. So let's go around the room. I'm going to start with Mover Smitty first. Give me 3 words or less, sum up last season, and then expand on it for me.
3 words or less. Frightfully disappointing. I think to expand on it, I mean, the NFC South was just ready for us to take. That was our ticket, to get in the playoffs, and to have Tampa Bay knock us down and keep us out. There was a couple games we just let get away that kept us from making it to the playoffs. Not saying that we would have gone deep in the playoffs, but in the playoffs, anything can happen, especially with the way the Saints were playing defense.
100%. And the NFC itself, there's a lot of haves and a few haves and a lot of have-nots. Mover Scott, how about you? 3 words or less and expand on it.
I'm going to say Dennis Allen undecided. So those are my 3 words. I mean, I think obviously when Andy Dalton is your go-to quarterback for most of the season, you're kind of scratching your head at really kind of what your expectations could be given the reality that he's your quarterback. So I think it comes to the defense. I think, the defense played well, which is, what Dennis Allen is known for. The only thing is it's almost like the stats are going to betray what I'm saying, because you talked about hey, we threw the ball, it's questionable. I mean, at times Andy Dalton looked great. At times he looked terrible, but the defense kept us in games. Offense is still another matter in entirety. So I'm still undecided about Dennis Allen. I think he's great defensive. I don't know about a head coach for the team. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah, Mover Scott, I think you actually just summed up Andy Dalton's career. Sometimes he's good, and a lot of times he's not. So totally a good sum up there. Derek, what say you? 3 words or less, and expand on it for me.
Poo-poo platter. That's what I'm going to go with. That was the Saints' entire season, man. I mean, offense fell apart. The defense wasn't good enough to hold them up, but the defense was still damn good. I think they're going to be a playoff team this year. I think they're going to win at least 10 games. So I'll start off with that.
Oh, we're going to get into that. You're a good segue. I should have went to you last. We're going to get to that in a second. But now let's go to you. Give me 3 words or less and expand on last year.
So I don't know how many people have seen this movie, The Campaign, but it's a mess. And that's what it was. One of my favorite movies.
I just heard him say it in my head when you did it. That's so good.
Oh my God. Like it's a mess. Like as soon as I saw that, first of all, we weren't going to be too hot with Jameis Winston, and then Andy Dalton gets playing time. And I was like, all right, we're cooked. Why don't we just forfeit the season? And and that's what it felt like. It was just a mess. Kamara wasn't the same. Mike Thomas out injured. Chris Olave had some really good moments. I think he's going to be really, really good this year. It was just a mess. The defense, they were fun to watch, but that offense was just terrible. And Dennis Allen, I don't know about him, but I really like him defensively. So hopefully he takes a leap this year.
Yeah, hopefully indeed. All right, well, let's talk about this year. So you did the segue good too. I like that. All right, let's talk about, we talked about what was, let's talk about what is. Talked about marquee additions. Derek Carr, hello. QB1 in the building. There's your answer there at QB. God, I love the move for you guys. Jamal Williams, another great move. Jamal Williams, good team guy too. It's a guy you want on your team. And a guy I noted here too, just because of his story, Foster Moreau, man, what a great story for him. Glad to see him find a place, and gotta love it. Talk about subtractions. Now, again, I'm going to mess this name up immediately, but it all seemed like a lot of defensive losses. David Onyemata, Marcus Davenport, Shy Tuttle. So you guys lost a lot on the defensive side, it seemed like anyway. But what do I know? That's why I got you guys in here to tell me what I'm missing. Let's talk about the draft. Round 1, Brian Brees, for a defensive tackle from Clemson. Round 2, you got Isaiah Foskey. He's an edge rusher from Notre Dame. Round 3, Kendry Miller, running back from TCU. Round 4, Nick Saldiveri. He's an offensive tackle from Old Dominion. Another round 4 pick, you got Jake Hayner, QB from Fresno State, maybe something for the future. Round 5, Jordan Howden, safety from Minnesota. Round 6, A.T. Perry, wide receiver from Wake Forest. So we talked about this. Let's go into now predictions into this season. Nat, we'll go with you. Let's go opposite order. Tell me what you think is going to happen with these New Orleans Saints this year.
I am high on my guys. I'm high on my guys this year. This is the year that I think we come back. We had a down a few seasons, and I think this is the one. A lot of people are very down on Derek Carr. When you're not super special, like let's say like a Patrick Mahomes, then everyone disregards what you actually do. And you forget that a lot of the guys you disregard, they're really good. He can throw 4,800 yards, he can throw the ball, and that's what we need. He can game manage, and I think him and his connection to Olave is going to be special. I think Mike Thomas actually plays, I'll say 13 games. I'm going to call it that he's going to play at least 13 games. And then Jamal Williams, he's huge. We don't know what's going to happen with Kamara. I hope that he does play the full season. If he doesn't, Jamal Williams is a hell of a pickup, and I think the defense is going to be stronger. So I am going to predict that we are 12-5.
Love it. Now, I will say the doc preempted Miss Mary Jane Cooper Esquire. I will have her on a little later. However, she told me that she's gonna since I don't pay her, she's gonna do a real job, and then I can talk. So whatever, we'll work that out later. But yeah, love the enthusiasm, and you got a lot to be excited about. One thing I will just say real quick before we go to Derek. One thing I love about Carr, after the situation that happened with him in Las Vegas and the stuff that happened with his receiver, I don't want to go into all that, but it was like he just showed throughout that whole time great leadership. And with your city and him, I just see some special magic going on there, to be honest with you. Derek, how about you, my friend?
I think they're going to win at least 10 games. I think the NFC South is going to be easily attainable. I don't see another team in that division that can rival them. And look, if the offense can keep up with the defense this year, I think they could make a deep playoff run. I mean, because this defense and Mickey Loomis in the offseason has done Mickey Loomis things, okay? Letting go of Marcus Davenport. And I think some of this stuff we're going to see some moves that were done last year and that are going to pay off this year. One being Trevor Penning being healthy this year. So his addition to that offensive line is going to help, but the way that this draft class fell for the Saints was honestly fantastic. Their defensive line, and they needed somebody. One, they needed a D tackle to sit there and plug up the middle. Their run defense, which has been elite over the last 5 to 10 years, every single season, finally fell off the map. And now you bring in Brise. You also have Kalen Saunders that can plug the middle. And you got Foskey in the draft to sit there and help Cameron Jordan on the other side, which Davenport was never fully healthy. That dude was in and out of the lineup constantly, and we never saw him really do what... I mean, the Saints traded up aggressively to get him, to pair him with Cam Jordan, and we never saw that come to fruition. And I'll throw something else out here. Alontae Taylor, people need to put some damn respect on his name. He is one of the best young corners in the NFL, and you never hear him talked about Sauce Gardner's rookie season, Trevion Diggs, what he's done in the last year. Alontae Taylor came out last year and balled out. He crushed. He played really damn well. And so you team him with Marshawn Lattimore, who can man up with some of the best receivers in the NFL, and Bradley Roby still has plenty of juice in the legs, and he was really good as a nickel corner last year. This defense is going to be top 10 in the NFL again. Dare I say, if those two pieces on the D line come together, they could be top 5. And the offense is going to be a lot better this year. I think the offensive line is going to be good. Derek Carr has been a top 12 PFF graded passer in each of the last 2 seasons prior to last, when Josh McDaniels just basically said, here, I'm going to throw you this playbook, and I don't care if you struggle. We're just going to do some crazy, dumb shit here. But I think he's going to find a second home at the Saints, and I think they can make a deep playoff run. I'm with that on that.
All right. I love it. A lot of enthusiasm. I love it. All right, Mover Scott, are you as hyped?
I am trepidatious. I mean, I think 10-7 is realistic. I really do, simply because we're in the NFC South, and when you're looking at the quarterbacks for the NFC South, and you're looking at Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield and Desmond Ridder and Bryce Young, then you're thinking, okay, we've got ourselves positioned because we have a veteran presence. I think a lot rests on really the running game. I think Kamara, had 4 touchdowns last year, which, was a fall off from the year previous. So I love the depth that we now have at running back, even going down to Miller and that acquisition in the draft. So I'm excited about the keys. I think there's, it's one of those things where we could go as high as 12-5 and then back to sub 500, depending on Thomas being healthy. And then the running game. I think those are 2 things, because I think the running game is going to help Derek Carr, and it's really the efficiency of the offense that I'm worried about more so than the defense. I think the defense.
Can I add a little bit of another ray of light for you, Mover?
Sure.
Can I do that, man? Because I left this out, and I feel like this is kind of the cherry on top of the cake here. These Saints right now, per projected win totals and things like that, they have the easiest strength of schedule in the NFL. You can't get any better. They're not 10th. They're not 8th.
12
they're
and
not 5th.
5,
They're first,
guys.
baby. First.
12-5. That's
Yep. And that FN Sports Show brought that up, and it goes to your point about the defensive team being top 10 again. You have the NFC South, brought that up. And the AFC South, like, you know, you got the Texans, and it's like, so you got some great matchups, actually. So we'll get into the fantasy implications later. Smitty, Mover Smitty, how about you, my friend? Are you as hyped as everyone else?
Oh yeah. It's either going to be 10-7 or 12-5. It's going to be, and we're going to win the NFC South. We're going to go to the playoffs. Derek Carr, that addition, not just his prowess as a quarterback, but also he brings so much leadership that we were lacking. And even in OTAs, you could tell he was driving the train. You know, he was holding people accountable. As far as the defense's subtractions, I don't see Davenport as a subtraction. I think that's an addition by subtraction, because I've never been high on him, but also he never lived up to the hype that Sean Payton traded up to get him. And, you know, he was injured a bunch, but also when he played, he was like not there. It's like, come on, Cameron Jordan is holding up the entire end of a line. Mm-hmm. Come on, Davenport, it's time to earn your nickels. And he never really did. So I was actually happy to see Davenport hit the road and let some younger guys get in there and fight it out. But Kamara being a big question mark for the offense, I think it's great getting the Detroit running back. I think he's going to step right in case Kamara is not there. But another guy that you shouldn't sleep on is Rashid Shaheed. That dude's a burner. And he's a playmaker, and he's going to blow the top off some defenses and let the other guys do some damage. So it's gonna be a fun season. I can't remember actually when I've been more excited. We just have a really good bunch of guys that we acquired in the draft, in free agency, and I mean everyone I talk to is hype about it. Really, there's no naysayers in New Orleans right now, man. We're all on board. Playoffs.
I love it. And you mentioned Jamal Williams. I love Jamal Williams, just a team guy, and he's a hard runner. And that's why I mentioned Davenport. Those guys, I'm not really sure because I just see the high contracts, and I'm like, how well did they really play for you guys? So yeah, that's great. If he wasn't earning his nickels, he's earning a penny somewhere else. So hit the road, right? All right. Exactly. Well, we were like, listen, we're all hyped up. We're excited. We had a little fun. Usually it gets a little depressing so far. So we've done NFC South, but this has been a little fun, I have to say. But we're going to add a little more fun now. Now we're going to do a little fantasy quiz show. Basically, This works as Family Feud. So we're going to team you up. Obviously, we'll put the movers together. Nat and Derek will be together on a team. I'll put you guys, like Derek and Smitty will go against each other first. I'm going to ask a question. Just shout out the answer. Whoever has the highest of that answer will take control for their team. You'll have 3 strikes to fill out the rest of the questions. If you do not and get the 3 strikes, the other team will get a chance to steal. I hope everyone is ready. And Smitty, you know what that means.
Party. And that means we need some good ideas. Let's brainstorm.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Disney. Let's get time. It's Fantasy Quiz Show.
There seems to be no sign of intelligence.
It's the Fantasy Quiz Show.
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. It's gonna be a long game.
Not gonna be a long game tonight because we got Saints experts in the building tonight. As I said, we're gonna start it off with Smitty and Derek. Mano y mano. These are always layup though, so this is going to be an easy one for you guys, just to get your feet wet, as they say. Top 5 answers are on the board. Here is the question. I'm looking in all-time Saints history. I'm looking for your past TD leaders.
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Jim Everett.
Was Smitty frozen?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was frozen.
I think in fear.
He said Everett though.
A
That's a
little
good pick.
disadvantage in round one. So yeah, but we will take the first answer we heard with Drew Brees. He actually is
That's all
the
right.
number one overall, so you'll take control of the round. Drew Brees, number one all time with 491. Wow. All righty. Let's
Special.
go. Nat, you are up. You guys got control. What you got?
Say it again.
Yeah, it's your turn. So the question is top 5 answers, your past TD leaders in Saints history.
Shit.
Come on, Nat.
Shit. Oh. I
Love it
feel
when-
like,
when
Think
you're on
Clayton
the
Ananias, Nat. Come on.
damn. Who? I don't got.
Come on, Nat.
Uh-oh, Judge. Unfortunately, a no-go for we don't know.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Nat.
Steal.
I had
Derek,
so
what do
much.
you
I
got?
had so much belief.
I know.
All right, you only got one strike. All right, Derek, what do you got? You got something else for us?
Aaron Brooks.
Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks, he is number 2 all time with 120. All right, Nat, you got to be warmed up a little now. Got to be something getting there. There's something brewing. No
Dude.
Googling. No Googling.
No, you know what it is? I became a Saints fan when Drew Brees took his ass to New Orleans.
I don't think anyone said that, so you could go with that again.
Yes.
Drew Brees was already there.
No, I know. I'm just teasing.
All right, you know what to do, Judge, I guess.
I'm sorry, I lost y'all for a second. My phone starts going off nuts. Got an X?
That's all right, you didn't miss it. You didn't miss anything. Don't worry. All right, Derek, you got 2 strikes.
Oh my
Got some
God.
me here. Who else
Nat, did
got?
you give us another strike while my computer had brain farted?
Hey, listen,
Or was that on me?
I became a Saints fan when Drew Brees got here.
Oh, good Lord. Come on. Okay, fine. I got to bring it home. Fine. I'll steal
Bring it home
Smitty's.
for
Jim
it.
Everett.
Jim Everett. Don't call him Chris Everett. He's number 5 with 60.
call.
All right, so Nat, back to you.
Oh, God. Nat, come on. Google something, Nat. Like, oh, you got another side screen? Like, come on.
I'm not gonna cheat.
Nothing. Think about the history just for a second.
Shit, the history before Drew Brees.
She said she doesn't know it. Like,
all right, Judge.
Stop it. Get some help.
Take that back. Come on.
All right, listen, movers. There's some
Started
meat
off
here
so
on this
good.
phone. You're missing number 3 and number 4 on this list. You guys can talk this out amongst yourselves to get with a concise answer.
wait a minute. They get to talk it out?
For a steal. That's the steal part. If you get
Oh,
the
okay.
steal,
I
you
was
talk
like,
it.
hold up. How is
There's
this just
just
now
one
getting
answer there.
introduced? Hold up now.
It's like, what's going on here?
Smitty, I'm going to go with Bobby Abear.
Yeah, the Cajun Cannon.
You got
You
it.
like
the Cajun Cannon.
Bobby
Absolutely.
Abear. He got it. Bobby Abear is number 4 on this list with 85. And Nat, when I said history, that's what I was trying to get to you. Number 3, Archie Manning.
Archie Manning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on now. You at
Oh,
least know Archie Manning.
Oh my God! You know what? I'm taking.
I
this
couldn't
L.
think of a good hint to besides just saying Manning.
All right, well, the movers got round 1, and I hate to say this, but Nat, you're 1-on-1 against Scott for the next one. I hope you're ready. All right, I hope you're ready. I'm gonna make this. Hopefully,
get
this
him,
is
Nat.
this is more of a general question, so this might help you even a little bit. Top 5 answers on the board, guys. This is for Mover Scott and Nat. I'm thinking still all-time history, but I'm thinking winning percentage. You know what I want to know? I want to know the teams you have the best winning percentage against.
Atlanta Falcons.
The Atlanta Falcons. What did you say, Nat?
I said Texans.
The Houston Texans.
Well
Nat
done.
snags it.
Well
It's
done.
number 5 on this list. You guys are
a good call.
3-2 all time against the Texans, so it's a 600 winning percentage. All right, Derek, you guys got control. What else you got?
Oh, crap basket. Let's go with the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers. They are number 2 on this list. You guys are 39-23 all time against the Bucs, 629 winning percentage. All right, Nat, what else you got?
Detroit.
Oh,
The
that's
Lions.
she just read my mind. I was sitting here thinking of the Lions. Yes.
Well,
No,
we should-
never
we
mind.
should've
It
gave
wasn't good.
We should have gave you 2 strikes then for all that. All right, let's go, Derek. What else you got?
I'm so sorry, Nat. I'll take that one.
I was trying to read your
Oh.
mind.
All right. Damn it. Let's go. What, Panthers.
The Panthers.
Okay.
Crap.
It's on you now. You got 2 strikes, but you got number 2 and you got number 5. You got the Bucs and the Texans. You're missing 1, 3, and 4 on this list.
Green Bay.
Green Bay Packers? No for that one. All right, let's go. Boomer Smitty and
Oh my
Boomer
God.
Scott. You, like I said, there's meat on this bone here, so can you take a nibble?
That video clip just got me.
What do you think about the sea bags, Scott?
It's either them or like somebody like notoriously bad, like the Jets. The Jets are always bad, so it's got to be a bad team. You want to go with?
I remember us singing the national anthem right before
Seahawks game that we won.
Yes.
I mean, we could do that. We could go with some gree there.
Yes.
I just know that they beat us in the playoffs, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
You want to go with the
Let's
Seahawks?
go sea bags. Yeah.
Let's do it.
The Seattle Seahawks for the steal. These
Did not think
boys
that was
are
right.
on fire. They are number 3 on this list. They are 10 and you guys are 10-6 all time against the Seattle Seahawks. Number 1 on the list, the Jacksonville Jaguars. You guys are 5-2 all time against the Jags, a 714 winning percentage. And number 4, the Indianapolis Colts at 8-5 at 615
Wow.
Nice
percentage. There you go.
Never guessed either one of those.
If you don't know, now you know. All right,
Good to know.
right now, movers are up 2-0. It's about to be a sweep if Derek don't come through right now.
Oh, come
We're gonna go Derek and Smitty, mano y mano.
Yes.
Top 5 answers are on
Come
the
on, Derek.
board. Here is the question. I'm gonna still go all time, and I still want to go winning percentage, but I want to know the teams you have the worst winning percentage against.
Oh, sweet hell. The Packers.
The Green Bay Packers.
Dallas Cowboys.
The
I have one
Dallas
for you.
Cowboys.
Oh shit.
All right,
What do
Derek,
we do
back
now?
to you.
Oh, good lord. Patriots?
The New England Patriots. New England Patriots are number 4 on this list at 5-10. You have a 333 winning percentage, but since it's number 4 and we're kind of in that OT rule, Smitty, you get a chance to get the control back if you can name a team above number 4.
49ers.
The 49ers. They are on this list, but unfortunately, they are number 5. They are number 5. You guys are 27, 49, and 2 all time against the Niners, a 359 winning percentage. So, Derek, you guys got control. We'll go to Nat for you for this list. You're missing 1, 2, and 3 now with no strikes. What you got?
Derek, what do you think of a team?
There's no time. Hey, we can't be talking in this round.
Think of good teams. Good teams. Good teams of the last few years.
Who you got?
Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings. Okay, so
I thought it was a good pick for what it's worth.
Now, no pressure on you, Derek. So there's some meat here. You got. Let me see. Look on this board here. You got. Well, you got the Patriots. So and you got the Niners. So there we go. You got 1, 2, and 3. No pressure.
Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Why?
You know what's funny? I thought that too, so I'm not even mad at you.
I have failed you.
I failed. That was a great guess. It was
such a great guess.
All right,
unless I get a check mark, it was a bad guess.
You got a chance to sweep this game. What do you guys got? Talk amongst yourselves.
I'm feeling where Malcolm Jenkins went.
Yes.
Eagles. I'm liking the Eagles.
Yep. The Eagles.
The team.
Yeah. He's gonna go with the Eagles.
You idiot.
No.
Are we getting some luck here?
Unfortunately, not on the list. Number 1 all time, the Broncos. 3-9 all time against the Broncos. They're actually tied winning percentage wise with the Baltimore Ravens at number 2. They're 2-6, both with a 250 winning percentage. Number 3 on the list, the Cleveland Browns. I was like, what? Wow. Ooh, that's ugly right there. All right. Well, listen, you guys are back up in this game. Nat and Mover Scott. It's 2-1 Movers. Here we go with question number 4. We're going back to all-time. Well, we're still in all-time history, but we're going to go in stats again. I want to know in all-time Saints history. I'm looking. It's the top 6 answers, by the way. I'm looking for your all-time rush TD leaders.
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara. I sounded like Mover Scott by a hair on that one. Now, you guys were real close. Alvin Kamara is on this list here at number 3 with 49. All right, Movers, you guys got control. Mover Smitty, what do you got?
Dalton Hilliard.
Dalton Hilliard.
Way back, baby. That's a good pick.
He's number 4 on this list with 39. All right, Mover Scott, what you got?
Ooh, maybe let's do Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram. That's that man-style running back. He's number 1 all-time in Saints history with 52 TDs. All right, Mover Smitty, you're missing number 2, number 5, and number 6.
Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush. No Reggie there. All right, Mover Scott.
Let's go Deuce McAllister.
Damn it, that's the one that I was thinking of.
I think that was a yes, whatever. Yeah, so
Don't give away points, Coop.
Deuce McAllister, number 2 on this list with 49. He's tied with Kamara. So just a point of reference, when you're watching Saints games this year, when Alvin Kamara gets on a field and gets a TD, he'll move into number 2 all time in Saints history.
Nice.
Wow.
All right, so you got number 5 and 6 left. Go to Mover Smitty. What do you got?
Whew. Let's see here. How about Tony Galbraith?
Tony Galbraith.
Hey,
Nice try. Nice try. All right. We got one strike left. Mover Scott.
Thinking either maybe Ruben Mays or let's go Ruben Mays.
Ruben Mays.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Unfortunately, not for Mover Scott. Let's go to you guys. Listen, you guys got to get this, by the way. Let me build the intrigue here. If you guys can get this, we continue to the final round. If not, Movers win the game. So you can talk amongst yourselves.
I think
Can
I
you
got
get number
one.
5 or 6?
Ricky Williams.
What do you think, Nat? You good with that?
I'm gonna trust my teammate.
All right, Ricky Williams.
Really?
I can't.
That's not
that
on
was
there?
a good one.
What
No,
about Chuck? Was it Chuck
Ricky.
Muncie?
Yeah, that's Chuck Muncie, maybe.
Chuck Muncie and Pierre Thomas are tied.
Pierre
at
Thomas
20
is going to be my next guess.
They are
Damn
tied
it.
at 28 at 5 and 6.
Ah.
If you don't know, now you know. But what I do know is tonight the Imagination Movers are tonight's winners.
Yes.
Holy hallelujah, we've done.
And Nat, I know that you know, but I know Derek doesn't know. Unfortunately, on our show, when we have a winner, we have a loser.
Dumbass. Thank these. They call me dumbass. Black Kite Entertainment. Stupid. So you're telling me there's a chance?
No,
That's exactly how I felt when I said
anymore
Ricky Williams.
tonight on
That was a
the
good one.
fantasy quiz show. But great game from all of you. That was great stuff. We're gonna go to our next segment, the fantasy focus. Before we do that, I want to give you guys a chance to plug yourselves, let everyone know where they can follow, get all your great stuff. Mover Smitty, I'll start with you since you look like you're the thinking man. Tell us where you can follow, subscribe, and get all your great content.
You can find us on anywhere on the internet, of course. Mover Scott there runs our Facebook and our website, and you can watch us, stream us as much as you want on Disney Plus all day long. Movers, good stuff for your family. Lots of good music and lots of good fun. And you can look for us, check our website. We might be coming to play a show in your area.
Absolutely. And it's there again. When I had them on last year, I brought the pictures. And when I had my son there, we went backstage. It was such a great time. These guys are amazing, great music. And as my wife said, the least annoying kid show out there. All right, let's go to Scott. How about you, my friend? Tell where we can follow, subscribe, and get your great stuff. Although Smitty did a great job already.
ImaginationMovers.com, at iMovers on Twitter, Instagram, it's Imagination Movers Official, and then of course Facebook, it's Imagination Movers. Go and stream us tomorrow. We're going to be dropping our compilation album coveralls that 7 of our favorite bands covered Imagination Mover songs, and so go check that on any kind of streaming service that you like.
That's
just
awesome.
look up coveralls, so it'll be out tomorrow.
I'll definitely check that out. That's super cool. All right, Derek, how about you, my friend? Where can we follow, subscribe, all your great stuff?
I mean, a lot of it's on the old tweet machines. I had Debro_FFB, and all my stuff is at fantasypros.com. So all my articles, podcasts, shows, all that kind of good stuff. Check me out every single week.
Go follow, subscribe, get all his great content. Nat, how about you? Where can we follow, subscribe, get your great stuff?
Yes, I am heavy on Twitter. As my name is spelled, Nat_the_GM on Twitter, as well as, and you can catch me on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. for season 2 coming up for a 3-peat podcast, and we're going to come back soon. So just follow me. Great NBA content. That's my niche right there. NBA stuff.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Gotta love Nat on the 3-peat on, of course, right here, the Fantasy Sports Corporation. Hit that subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah. All right, guys, so we'll hit the commercial break. If you need to check out, of course, thank you so much for coming in, but please stay around if you want, because we're going to talk about the Saints in our Fantasy Focus. Thank you.
Who dat?
Who dat?
Fantasy Sports Corp and Underdog Fantasy have teamed up to start your fantasy season off in the win column with Best Ball. What is Best Ball? It's quite simply the easiest way to win. No team management, no trades, no waivers. It's their biggest contest ever and it has only gotten bigger. You simply have to sit and win. You don't even have to set your lineup. Always get your best score every week. Just enter a contest, draft your team, and Underdog will do the rest. What could make this even better? How about free money, up to $100 using our exclusive promo code? Go online now and use the promo code TSS to double your deposit up to $100. You tell them Gingerbread sent you. Good girl.
All right, the boys are back because it's time to get focused on some fantasy on the New Orleans Saints. Well, on our fantasy focus, we always start at the QB position. And finally, in the NFC South, I have something exciting to talk about. Derek Carr. Like I said, I like Derek Carr going into the season. I like his veteran poise. I like his moxie going in with weapons already. I like Michael Thomas to have a little bit of a resurgence this year. I think he's going to be healthy this year, finally, and we're going to see Chris Olave break out with Derek Carr. Right now, I got him ranked 21, but I'm going to bring him up for sure because I'm looking at my rankings even. I'm like, I'm going to switch things up a bit. I like Derek Carr a lot going into the season. I think he's a great value, too, because not a lot of people are eyeing him up. So check out Derek Carr this season for a great value for your fantasy rosters. Let's get on to Justin. You've been in the back. We'll start with you, my friend. What do you think?
So I had Carr originally at 26, but I think that's proper to move him up. I got him about 20 now with adjustments to the rankings. So I like Derek Carr. I'm always weary of Derek Carr being somebody who's watched a lot of Raider games. He is the epitome of up and down. He can have those 4 touchdown games. He can have those 4 interception games. My biggest issue is while the NFC South is not the greatest offensive juggernaut, a lot of the defenses there are still pretty damn good. So I can definitely see him having one of those years where he has 25 touchdowns and 14 picks. It's very possible. And then his weapons, Olave is great. Michael Thomas needs you to stay on the field. Alvin Kamara, same thing, man. I need you to stay on the field. And, they have Jamal Williams, and they've invested in, Dennis Allen's system, which is a lot of running the ball. So it's gonna be interesting season for Who Dat Nation. Who gonna beat that junkyard dog?
Who Dat seems like our panel think it's We Dat. Jordan, what say you, my friend?
I love the Saints' chances to make some noise this year. I agree with all of that, but man, I am not excited about Derek Carr. I feel like new place, same quarterback. Let's not forget this guy just got benched last season for Jarrett Stidham. He doesn't add anything in the run game. Listen, if you want to have him as your quarterback too, sure, go for it. I'm not investing anything in him. I have him ranked as the 20th quarterback in this draft.
All right, Derek, let's go to you, my friend. What do you say?
I'm just sitting here eating the chalk, basically. I'm going to agree with a lot of everything that's already been said. I have Derek Carr ranked as QB 20. In redraft formats, I don't really want anything to do with Carr. Like, there's too many other guys that you can get late, like Matthew Stafford, maybe Jared Goff, Rodgers, that can offer similar type production. He's only going to be a streaming kind of guy. Carr, really, for me, the only real avenue is I've dabbled with him in a few different builds on Underdog and some best ball drafts, but outside of that, you can miss me with Derek Carr.
All right, now what do you say?
I agree with a lot of what was said. He's not the kind of quarterback I would go for in fantasy. If you're in a 2 quarterback league, if he is your second quarterback, absolutely. You can line him up there, but if you're in a 1 quarterback league, I would say he's around 21. For me, there's a lot of great value when it comes to QBs that can give you more. So I agree. There
is a lot of value out there. Mover Smitty, what do you say?
Similar. you know, Derek Carr is somebody who I might look to stream if my starter is on a bye or something like that. He is up and down, what you guys said earlier. And I just feel like there's better value in some other guys that are further up the rankings. Now, that being said, I also, in my personal superstitious fantasy world, I try to avoid having Saints. So I'm not even really looking at Derek Carr as someone who I'm going to have on my team, because I feel like it's bad gree for the Lockport Leviathan as well as for the Saints. And just a caveat to that, in my entire 25-year history of being the Lockport Leviathan, never, ever, and never, ever will be an Atlanta Falcon on my fantasy team. Never.
I love it. The long history laid out. He has never, ever had a Falcon. Got to love it. All right. So listen, at the end of the day, though, I actually, like I said, I think Derek Carr is going to be a great value. And by the way, Smitty, I am totally with you. I am always against drafting the Dolphins. I'll usually maybe get their kicker. Then, of course, all of a sudden, this offense sprung up, and I'm like, oh, no, I have to get some Dolphins now. There's no doubt. I got to invest.
Roddy White still holds a place on my shit list. Just throw that out there.
Gotta love it. All right, well, let's get on to the running back situation. We talked about the Alvin Kamara, and like I said, I will have a little short of Mary Jane Cooper coming up soon regarding this situation. She did want to look into it, so we will have a little short on that coming up. But right now, with his season pretty much kind of up in the air. Will he play? Will it be a 6-game suspension? Will he see all kind of stuff is in the air right now. So right now, I just take it for as he is. If there's nothing that goes on, if he's cleared of all charges, everything's great. Alvin Kamara, is a great value, quite frankly. But because that situation's there, you want to look at Jamal Williams as the same type of value right now when you're looking to draft him. So, AKA, it's one of those situations where I don't know if I'm going to take the leap to go for Alvin Kamara. You better believe I'm going to back him up with Jamal Williams. So that's the way I see the situation. And one of those things, I'd be too scared, honestly, to draft either one of them. Of course, that means the guy behind me gets them, and then they have a great season, and I'm left out in the cold. But that's why I have my experts here. Jordan, what do you say, man? Give me some situations here that you like.
I'm going to have more shares of Derek Carr this year than I'll have of Alvin Kamara. That's how scared I am to touch him as a fantasy asset. I mean, even when he played last year, he sucked. Like, he was not good, especially in the back half of the season. Not getting any younger. He stopped catching passes at the end of last season. I've got him at RB33, but I doubt I will take many flyers on him. I will say the guy that I will probably take some late round darts on is Kendre Miller, who is going to come into the season as the third running back, but young legs. I'm not a big Williams truther. And at the end of the draft, I think there are worse dart throws that you can take.
Justin, how about you?
I kind of echo what Jordan says. I don't like Kamara. You couldn't pay me right now to put him on my team. And then with Jamal Williams, he's the better of the two as far as like value goes right now. Kendre Miller, I find myself not believing any of that hype. It just doesn't feel real. Jamal Williams in a weird position where he doesn't catch the ball, and he's coming off of a 19 touchdown season, almost nearly, how are you going to replicate that when you're 28 years old? I mean, I don't see it happening with him. He had 17 on the ground and I believe 2 through the air. So that's really tough numbers right there to replicate 17 touchdowns a year older and then kind of a different system. So for me, I'm looking at this as one of those zones where the worst case scenario, I'll draft Jamal Williams. I really need the help. But otherwise, I'm leaving every Saints running back on the table.
Ooh, Nat, what do you say? You leaving them on the shelf?
Yeah, I typically don't draft my players typically from my favorite team. I just think it's a recipe for disaster usually. And if I do it, it's in the beginning where things are hot. They have a couple good games, and I'm trading people. You know, I love to trade, so it's that kind of situation. I'm not touching Alvin Kamara. I think that he's on the downward end of his game. Jamal Williams, I've never been a fan of him as a player per se. I felt he's always just been okay, you know, but I think he has a great attitude and he's a great locker room guy. So, you know, when he does something great, it's very loud and, you know, everybody loves to see him win. But when you just, you know, kind of rate him versus everyone else, it's just he's just kind of okay. I would not I don't want any Saints running back, to be honest with you. If I see someone else and it's more of a chance, I'm going to definitely take the other person. So I'm going to leave the Saints running backs, you know, on the board.
So you guys are all, I just want to say this real quick funny story. You guys all about this fantasy juju. I'm just going to tell you right now, like, don't believe the hype. I drafted Lamar Jackson one year. And, you know, it was like a couple years ago. I think it was the COVID year. I can't really remember. So it was the guy I was playing was coming down to Miami with me. Lamar was going to Miami. I'm seeing all these Lamar Jackson stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting him today. I'm not going to sit here and sit in this stand. And then, of course, he goes off for 50, 60 freaking points, and I lose by 10. Of course, so don't believe the juju. Just play your guys.
That's part of the juju, though. That's just part of it.
Play your guys. All right, Smitty, what do you say about the running backs?
Well, one thing I'll say about last year is we had diminished weapons. So whenever Kamara got on the field, it was like, hey, everybody, Kamara's getting the ball. They keyed on it. Now, this year is a completely different year. I'm not a lawyer, but it doesn't look good for Mr. Alvin Kamara to be playing the full season. So one thing that no one has brought up is, what is Taysom Hill going to take from the other running backs? You know, Jamal Williams, I think, is going to get some down at the goal line carries and get some touchdowns. Will the rookie, you know, how is he going to pan out? I'm not sure. Somebody said he had a little knee issue. So, you know, is that going to linger around? But one thing is for sure, Taysom Hill takes touchdowns away from running backs. There's no two ways about it. So I would stay away from a Saints running back. You know, maybe I would take Williams later on if he becomes, a goal line touchdown guy. But there's a lot of mouths to feed. Like, just looking at training camp right now, you know, who's gonna be getting the ball down in the red zone? And once they get in that 5-yard line and they like to run that little wildcat thing with Taysom, and that dude's a beast. He takes running backs touchdowns away for sure. So I stay away from Saints running backs. That's me.
All right, I like it. Derek, what say you, my friend? Are you going to be the shining light here?
I guess I'm going to be the person that's highest on Kamara here. I mean, I'm not incredibly high. I've got him at RB30, so pretty similar to everybody that's you know, chimed in with ranks and stuff. The thing I think about Kamara, though, is like, he's falling down the board. Like, he's basically around the top 100 players. Like, you'll see him fall in drafts. He'll fall outside the top 100 a lot of different times. And as far as, like, I mean, if I can get the starting running back for the New Orleans Saints in the 8th, 9th round, I mean, that fits a lot of different builds that I'm sitting here going for, whether it's best ball, redraft. Like, he's your RB3, your RB4. And when he comes back, I don't think that there's any disputing he's going to play on the passing downs, and he's probably going to be the red zone guy. And so basically right now you're drafting him at his absolute floor. If we got news tomorrow that his suspension is only 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, whatever, and it's not 6 or 8, his ADP is going to just go up. So looking at that, like, I've been drafting a lot of Alvin Kamara because everybody is down on him right now. And Derek Carr is not going to run. He's going to check the ball down. And right now, and I know this is not a one-for-one comparison, and things change, offensive systems and stuff like that, but Last year, the Raiders were tied for 13th in total target volume to the running back position. Carr's not going to run. And this is, I mean, I could pretty much say this. Like, this is a pretty narrow-ish target tree. Like, Rashid Shaheed, I love him, but he's probably not a high-end target earner. He's going to stretch the field. So who is going to demand targets in this offense? Well, Juwan Johnson's good, but he's not a high-end target earner. Neither is Foster Moreau. So you're really talking about, okay, well, non-mobile quarterback, probably going to check it down one massive shit ton. Okay, well, he's going to be up there fighting with Chris Olave and Michael Thomas for targets. I like Alvin Kamara because the tackle breaking metrics on early downs did drop off a lot. He was putrid in that era. But from a receiving standpoint, his yards per route run, all those types of things were still high. So where I care about his utility is in the passing game. And if they give him run in a better offense and he does get touchdown opportunities, then yeah, I mean, I'm willing to invest in Alvin Kamara. I mean, if you want to take shots on Jamal Williams later, that's fine. I get it. I'm not doing that probably outside of like a 0 RB team, and I'm probably not doing the same thing with outside of Kendre Miller, because even the spot where Kendre Miller goes, there's a ton of great running back options there. Like, you can draft Roshan, you can draft Tank Bigsby, all of these backup types that are one injury away from just playing a fantastic role. And I mean, what's the path for Kendre right now? Like, Alvin Kamara is probably not going to miss the whole season. So what's our best hope for Kendre? He's fighting with Jamal Williams for touches. And then when you talk about Taysom Hill, and Kendre's not a pass catcher. He's not at least like an upper tier pass catcher. So you can't even say, okay, well, he would take the Kamara role. Williams, we know, can't catch passes. He's going to work on early downs. Well, it's kind of dubious skill sets here. So, like, Kendre Miller, I just have a hard time, like, carving out the path outside of Alvin Kamara missing the entire year or getting cut. I have a hard time really making a good case to draft him a lot where he's going.
No, 100%. And like I said, you're great at the segue. You're talking about the receivers. Let's get into those receivers since we're talking about it. Let's go. I mean, listen, Chris Olave, right? I mean, we were talking about him Doc talked about him. We've been talking about him all show. He's the man, the myth, the legend right now in New Orleans. I mean, finished the year strong last year. He was 26th overall in points per game. So Chris Olave right now, to me, with a better QB, is just going to be that much better right now. I have him ranked 21st. Could see him going up. I definitely love Chris Olave this season. Michael Thomas, like I talked about earlier, I think he'll be a little healthy this year at least. So from last year, again, dealing with so much injury, hard to come back, but I like to see Michael Thomas this year make a resurgence. Right now I got him ranked 45th. We talked about Rashid Hashid. I can't even forget. Rashid Shaheed. Every time I try, I just mess it up. So whatever. But thank you for correcting me. I appreciate you. But like you said, you talked about him being that deep threat, and Derek Carr likes to throw that deep ball. So I like you talk. He was throwing deep balls to Mac Hollins, so you can bet Rashid Hashid will be definitely get some deep balls this year. Justin, what say you?
It's just like Terry Scary over here, right?
Poor Coop. He tried.
Oh, man. I like Olave as 14. A lot of people like him higher. I can't put him over 13 guys right now. And that's just, I've tried to rationalize it, but that's kind of where I'm holding. Michael Thomas, I hope he stays healthy, but I mean, let's face it, what's it been, 3 years since his ankle injury that's continually persisted for 3 years? He's gotten 3 years older, Coop. Tell me, how do ankle injuries heal when you're 3 years older? It takes longer. It takes a lot fucking longer. Right. I think everybody can attest to that here. It takes a lot longer. I'm not going to roll with him outside of my top 50. He is like he's a wild card piece for me. If it pans out on my roster, I'm going to be happy. If it doesn't, I'm going to go over here and shrug my shoulders and say, I never really had too much faith in him. Didn't put too much stock in him. And then Rashid Shaheed, I'm going to go with him as not on my list right now because the deep ball threat is actually going to be probably most likely Chris Olave if Mike Thomas sees the field. If not, then we might see Shaheed. You know, they kind of always find somebody. A year ago it was Marquez Callaway. Last year was Shaheed. They always find somebody to kind of run those deep routes. That's why I never really invest too much in the long ball for the Saints. You know, Derek Carr is a good long ball thrower, but every single year they seem to have somebody new in that position. So I'm not really going to take a flyer on him this year. And gosh, is there anybody else?
Traquan
No,
Smith?
I'll pass it off to Jordan.
Well, listen, I'm going to say this real quick before we go to Jordan. Those who had that little witty thing about Rashid last year, it's fun to say, even more fun to play. You're wrong. It's not fun to say at all. All right, Jordan, what do you say?
I mean, I enjoy saying it, but for me, I don't think it's rocket science here. I love Chris Olave. I think there was a lot to love from his rookie season. I'm a little bit higher on him than Justin, but right in that range. I think Derek Carr is a great match for him. And if something happens to Carr, I think Jameis Winston is also a great match for him. So I think he's locked in as a wide receiver 1. For the upcoming season. I want no part of Michael Thomas. I wouldn't take him at the end of my draft, man. I have been burned by that guy too many times now, and maybe you should let those feelings go, but I simply cannot.
Same, Jordan.
Yeah. Outside of that, I'm probably not looking at many of the Saints receiving options.
Jordan, the scorn lover of Michael Thomas. Mover Smitty, what do you say?
Yeah, Michael Thomas. Yeah, that's a tough one. Olave is the guy. I think if you're looking for a Saints receiver, though, in a similar way that Derek was talking about Kamara, Michael Thomas may fall and be, a great value and wind up winning you a championship. I mean, he's got that potential. Is he gonna? It's been 3 years out. He's kind of a diva. Is he going to fit in with the Derek Carr program? I hope so. But I'm kind of. I guess I would take a shot further down the draft with him. Olave would be the guy that I would be interested in. And I don't know if you guys remember when we had Devery Henderson. He was the speedy guy that could take the top off of defenses, of course, when we had Drew Brees. But the Saints seem like they've been looking for that Devery Henderson, who we had him for several years, and we keep, 1 year it's this guy, 1 year it's the next guy. And although I think Rashid Shaheed is going to be a good speedster for us, I don't think he's going to be like a fantasy threat, so to speak. Olave is the guy, really.
100%. And we know Nat knows Devery Henderson because it was during the Drew Brees era. Derek, what do you say?
You're terrible.
I don't know how I follow that up. Man, I'm all in on Chris Olave. I have him as wide receiver 11. I mean, I think we just time and time again, this is bared out over the last 5 to 10 years. Second and third year wide receivers are incredibly, incredibly strong bets to make, both from a talent standpoint and in fantasy. You see them break out every single freaking year. And considering the target shares that Chris Olave earned, as well as, and I want to put this into context, just how really damn good Chris Olave is. Something I've really gravitated to outside of quarterback play, and you parse this out, what can a wide receiver control? Okay, how often he gets open. He can't throw his damn self the ball, but he can get open religiously. Chris Olave, amongst 82 qualifying wide receivers, was 7th in ESPN's open score, right behind Stephon Diggs and immediately ahead of Justin Jefferson. Just to put some context and respect on that man's name. So I think he could be a wide receiver 1 in fantasy. I will pay up and pay the iron price to get Chris Olave on my teams. I think he's going to be the wide receiver 1 this year. I am fading Michael Thomas. I've got him in the wide receiver 4/5 purgatory because whether it's health or you want to talk about what he did on the field last year, he relied on touchdowns when he was on the field, hit all of his periphery metrics were wide receiver 3-ish. Like he had about 1.7 yards per route run, which is okay, but not great. Basically, that's wide receiver 3 territory. So if you want to take a shot on him late in drafts, that's fine. I'm probably not going to go there, but I do want to point out something here. Everybody on this panel has talked about how they don't want any part of Michael Thomas. They're fading Michael Thomas, but we're also fading Alvin Kamara. Who do we think is going to catch passes on this damn offense outside of Chris Olave?
Chris Olave.
I agree with you, but this also leads me back to Rashid Shaheed, because if it's not Michael Thomas, if we're not high on Alvin Kamara, then who the hell is going to catch passes? Somebody's got to do it. Okay, well, Juwan Johnson, he's probably splitting routes with Foster Moreau. Shaheed, again, putting respect on the man's name, amongst 115 qualifying wide receivers last year, so at least all the wide receivers, you toss them into a bucket that had 30 or more targets last year. Rashid Shaheed was 3rd in yards per route run, and he was 24th in PFF receiving grade. That's a guy I want to invest in, especially with an upgraded quarterback coming in. We just all talked about how we don't want anything to do with Michael Thomas, and we're worried about Alvin Kamara, and if he's suspended, who's going to catch passes? Well, Jamal Williams can't catch passes. Kendre Miller, we don't believe that's probably his game. So, damn right. Rashid Shaheed right now is amongst my top 3 most rostered wide receivers in best ball. And I'm probably about 100 drafts in right now. So, yeah, I believe in him.
All right. I love it. Let's say what's up to Patriot Sports Radio. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you. Nat, how about you? What do you think of these receivers?
I am super high on Olave. I may be down on Kamara, but I am super high on Olave. And you know what, Derek, you're correct with what you said. I was listening to what you were saying about Kamara, and you are right. I think he's like Jamal Williams is not a good pass catcher. Kamara is. Yeah, and Kamara is. So we might just be overthinking it, and he might just be like go back to being who we know he is with better quarterback play. This is absolutely true. Also, with this offense as well, you have Mike Thomas, you have Kamara, you have Olave. Those are going to be the 3 main guys, absolutely. And I think it's just going to open it up, for Olave, which is why I'm so, huge on him, because I think that you're still going to have to obviously check, Mike Thomas, and you're still going to have to check Kamara. And I think Olave just has WR1 written all over him, and I think that there's going to be enough attention to go around where Olave is just going to go off. I mean, if you think about it, last season, I believe it was 1,000 yards, maybe 1,040 yards, 72 or 75 receptions or something like that. And I mean, maybe about 4 touchdowns with Andy Dalton. I mean, you give him a better quarterback now, and a more stable offense. It's up from here. So I am huge on Olave. I really want to say he's going to be 10. I receiver 10.
Ooh, that's big.
Can I pose a question to everybody?
Sure.
Over under 90 receptions for Olave. Where y'all at?
Over.
I'm gonna say over, yeah.
Over.
Okay.
Think
so
we're all
he's gonna
over.
catch close to 100 damn balls. He's a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, all day. I'm definitely looking for some Chris Olave for sure. All right, so we're not here all night. Let's combine the last 2 positions, tight end and defense. I don't want to like I'm skipping over the Saints defense, because honestly, if there's a defense I'm looking for, this might be one of them. Already good, a good defense with a. We talked about the strength of schedule, or not strength of, but we talked about what the schedule looked like with the other NFC South opponents. With the AFC South, it looks like a good defense, at least a roster on your fantasy squads. Juwan Johnson, listen, I wish Nick was here, because he's a Juwan Johnson lover. He loves Juwan Johnson. Finished tight end 11th in half point PPR last season, catching 42 passes for 508 yards and 7 TDs. We talked about the upgraded QB immensely. Again, why would he not get any better? Not that I see Derek Carr. Again, we talked about the 100 catches with Chris Olave, so there's just so many ways this ball can go around. And, of course, the X factor of Taysom Hill. I will just say this. Last year, I felt like Taysom Hill was that really cool drug you did when you were a kid, and you just been chasing the dragon ever since, because that's basically what happened. You get he gets you all excited with this big game, and then you go chase the dragon with him the rest of the season, because then it's like, oh no, where did all those points go? So I don't know really where to put Taysom Hill, to be honest with you. Since Sean Payton's gone, I'm not sure how much or how well he's schemed in this particular offense. So anyway, I'm just not sure on Taysom Hill. I like Juwan Johnson, and again, Saints D I'm high on as well. Justin, what say you?
He had 11 touchdowns last year with Dennis Allen, so I think he's schemed in pretty well in this team. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Juwan Johnson is a oh shit.
What happened?
Oh no,
You're
my
in
internet's just going down low. Sorry, got to make this real quick because I think I'm going to go out in a second. I think Juwan Johnson is tight end 12. This is going to be a big year for him. I think Derek Carr loves his tight ends. I mean, Darren Waller was absolutely one of his favorite targets on the field, even with Devontae Adams there. And then this defense, I mean, you're playing the NFC South and the AFC South. Why not? I mean, I think it's a great defense to have, especially if you're like streaming defenses. So I would definitely stream them if they're playing the Texans, the Titans, the Jaguars, the Bucks, the Falcons, the freaking Carolina Panthers. That's a lot of games right there. That's 9 games right there that I would play them. So yeah, I would definitely roster them and stream them.
Definitely worth a roster. I think, in fact, we've talked about it. I think a lot of these NFC South defenses are good to throw on your fantasy rosters. Jordan, what do you say?
A lot of what Justin said. I'm all about streaming this defense for sure. If there's a rookie quarterback playing this year, the New Orleans Saints defense is going to get to play against them. So they should be eaten all year long. I also really like Juwan Johnson. I don't think I'm tight end 11 high on him, but I'm definitely in that 13 range with him. I think he is going to take another step up this year. I could see a little bit of touchdown regression because I think that Chris Olave will get a little bit more touchdown attention, but I think Justin hit the nail on the head with the Waller comparison. Derek Carr absolutely loves his tight ends, and I think he will absolutely feed Juwan Johnson.
Understood. Derek, what say you, sir?
Taysom and Juwan are tight end 2s for me. I think they could split routes. I think they both could get on the field depending on how much 12 personnel the Saints run this year. So they're fine if you want to tack them on for correlation and best ball. That's fine. But in redraft, I don't care about either one of them. Now, as far as the New Orleans Saints defense, oh, hell yeah. I'm going to be drafting them everywhere. I'm just going to read off the first 6 games they get this year. They play Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. They play Bryce Young and the Panthers. They play Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, the Buccaneers, and doesn't matter who the hell they're going to start. They're going to be shit-tastic. And then they get Mac Jones and the Patriots, and then they get the Houston Texans and a rookie in C.J. Stroud. So, yeah, 6 games. That's what you want out of a defense. You draft them. They're literally going to be in your lineup for 6 straight games, and you don't have to worry about it until they play the Jaguars in week 7. Yeah, draft all the Saints defense, baby.
Set it and forget it. And by the way, when did we ever think we'd say until they played the Jaguars? Wow. All right, Nat, what say you?
I'm with Derek on that one with that defense. I mean, I was going to read off those games as well because I'm like, yeah, I want all of the Saints defense. You know, you say the Jaguars, but I think it's going to be a really good game. I still think the defense plays very well. And then you kind of got to go back. They got the Colts, they got the Bears, you know, the Vikings. What are they going to look like this year? You know, so obviously they have Justin Jefferson over there, you know, but you know they got some differences over there too. They look a little different right now. So then they got the Falcons. So we're just looking at the Jaguars. Really, this defense is going to be hot this year. I think they're going to get after it. You know, then they got the Lions. You know, the Panthers, the Giants. I mean, people, come on, the Falcons again. This defense is going to be on all year. Even the games that we know teams are better, quarterbacks are better. I still think this defense is going to be very good, way better than last year. And as far as the tight ends, I want nothing to do with either one of them. I don't like either one of the options because although Derek Carr loves his tight ends, New Orleans is different, man. As long as Taysom Hill's name is on something, I can't trust anything, because you will think that it's the Juwan Johnson game and Taysom Hill has 2 touchdowns, taking away everything. So it's one of those toss-ups, and it's not a gamble I'm willing to take. So
heard that. All right, Mover Smitty, finish us off. What do you say on tight end and defense?
Tight end. So I'm on Johnson and Taysom Hill. And that's exactly right. You just never know what he's going to steal from everyone else. But the Saints defense is just going to eat them up. It's just I don't even know why we need to play the season. They're just going to eat everybody up. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see what the new guys coming in are going to do. But I always felt like Davenport was a little bit of an anchor, not a good anchor. I mean, the kind of anchor that's dragging you down and not holding you up. And I'm kind of glad that he's gone. And I'm just so excited. There's so much excitement with the Saints D. And like Derek said, for 6 games, you don't even think about your defense. They're just there, and probably for more than that. I'm very high on the Saints D.
Yeah, see, again, this is why we do the summer tour, because I could see them springing straight up into my rankings after we've gone through all this. Listen, guys, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure having all of you in, talking about your New Orleans Saints. Should be an exciting season in the NFC for you guys. So good luck to you, and thank you guys once again. Don't forget, everyone, follow, subscribe, get all their great content. For us, hit that subscribe button, the like, hit that notification bell. We appreciate all of you guys. Tomorrow, we're in sticky, hot Atlanta. That'll be a fun night tomorrow night. Get ready for it. We'll see you tomorrow. We appreciate you, and we are out.